Welcome to this Fiction Brainmaster class on the narrative spectrum. Here, we treat storytelling as a precise, structural discipline. You have probably heard the old rule, show don't tell. But that rule is poorly framed. A better version is this: describe, don't explain. And it applies to both scenes and summary. In this session, we will use showing to mean scenes and telling to mean summary. Here is the key idea. Showing and telling are not a strict either-or choice. They form a continuous spectrum of information density. Let's picture that spectrum as a line running from left to right. The left end is telling. This is narrative summary, a highly compressed version of time. The right end is showing. This is the expanded, immediate scene, a fully lived-in experience. Narrative summary is the engine of time compression. It can map years of story time into just a few words on the page. This filters out low-impact information efficiently. Summary works best when the story needs to move through time or place, especially when nothing significant happens in between. Narrative showing works on a 1-to-1 ratio of story time to reading time. A single critical moment expands into a dense field of sensory data. Microactions, sounds, and physical reactions all come alive. This sensory expansion anchors the reader in the present moment. It maximizes emotional resonance. The core principle of storytelling is proportionality. Detail must be directly proportional to the dramatic significance of the moment. We can state this as a law. Detail is proportional to weight. High-impact events demand the sensory expansion of showing. Transitional moments require the compression of telling. Storytelling, at its heart, is a structural discipline. Once you master the showing-telling spectrum, you gain a reliable framework for pacing. Remember the fundamental principle. Always match your chosen mode to the dramatic weight of the moment. Every second of a story must justify its presence. When detailed scenes linger without advancing the plot, momentum stalls. This creates drag. To resolve that tension, writers use narrative summary. Summary cuts through the drag, maintaining pace and providing essential context. Now let's look more closely at the power of summary. One of its most powerful uses is efficient time compression. Consider the relationship between story time and screen time. Active scenes map closely, at a 1-to-1 ratio. But summary creates a compression zone. It lets the narrative leap over vast, non-essential intervals in mere seconds, without losing the audience. Summary is not only for skipping time, it also delivers background information and narrative context. Instead of stalling the main plot, summary quickly lays down a factual foundation. Summary is also where the narrator's voice truly comes alive. It acts as a stylistic adhesive. It injects flavor and authority into the narrative. This turns dry exposition into an engaging, cohesive experience. So how do we decide when to write a full scene and when to summarize? The decision matrix relies on one fundamental rule: narrative weight. If an event carries high emotional weight and permanently changes a character, show it as a scene. If it is only a functional transition that moves the clock forward, summarize it. Narrative mastery depends on the strategic use of summary. Summary compresses time, provides context, leverages voice, and guides transitions. Master the summary, and you master your story. Now, narrative failures tend to occur at the extremes. Let's map those failures on a simple coordinate system. The horizontal axis tracks granularity, from abstract to concrete. The vertical axis tracks relevance, from trivial to significant. The bottom right quadrant is story float, where a writer overshows trivial moments. The top left quadrant is abstract reporting, which lacks concrete dramatization. Let's examine the first failure, story float. This happens when a writer overshows trivial moments. If we map narrative tension against screen time, a healthy story builds momentum. But during float, the waveform flatlines. This is a time efficiency problem. You are applying high-resolution focus to low-value data. As a result, narrative impact stagnates. At the opposite end is abstract reporting. This happens when a narrative summarizes events but fails to provide concrete dramatization. The result is a low-density structure. Information arrives as sparse, disconnected nodes. This deprives the audience of experiential evidence. To fix this, we shift toward dramatization. We transform vague summaries into a dense, interconnected network of concrete moments. Pacing is a function of narrative mode. It can be adjusted, almost mathematically, by shifting granularity. Finally, let's apply a simple three-step diagnostic. Step 1. Identify the mode. Are you writing a concrete dramatization or an abstract summary? Step 2. Measure the information density of the text. Step 3. Reallocate pacing. Expand abstract reporting and contract story float. By applying this diagnostic, you can systematically identify and correct narrative imbalances. Use these tools to eliminate story float and abstract reporting, and engineer stories with perfect pacing.